Welcome back to Beat the Bookie, folks. This is match week 37, the penultimate match week in the Premier League. Second last chance, Darren, to make a few bob for our viewers and, of course, our charity of choice as well each week. Safe to say we've hit the bar a few times this season. Mark has come in with a couple of good ones, our resident referee, mainly from the Championship. But we've two more pushes at this, and we may do a Beat the Bookie special maybe for the Champions League, where we might get all the lads in the WhatsApp group to do a bet builder for the Champions League final and see how that goes and how it pans out. Whatever the winning one is, we'll give it away to charity.
I like that, Noel. That's a good idea. The old bet builder for the Champions League. Very good. Good, man.
Round out the old the betting season for us, if you like. As always, we would say to our viewers, gamble responsibly. Never mess around with money that you can ill afford to lose. And let's get into this. It's a kind of a mixed bag this week because we've got Premier League and we've also got the FA Cup final. So we said we'd include both. So obviously on Saturday, FA Cup final, Chelsea versus Liverpool. Then into Sunday, big lineup on Sunday: Spurs versus Burnley, Villa versus Palace, Leeds versus Brighton, Watford versus Leicester, West Ham versus Man City, Wolves versus Everton, and the evening game, Everton versus Brentford. And we've gone out as far as Tuesday as well. So Monday, the Monday night football.
Wolves versus Norwich.
Wolves versus Norwich. Everton versus Brentford. And then Monday is Newcastle versus Arsenal, the 8 o'clock. Those Monday night football games, we like them. And then Tuesday, Southampton versus Liverpool, which could potentially keep us still in the title race, but could be potentially a dead rubber pending on the West Ham game. What have you got for me picks-wise? Do you want to kick us off with a good one?
I think I've got some good picks this week now. I've got 2 40s and an 80.
Okay.
So why don't we start with a bet that I decided to include last week, which was the handicap bet. And I've done another handicap bet this week. So I have gone with Leicester -1.
Yeah.
Leicester are away at Watford.
Yeah.
I have gone for Wolves -1. Wolves are at home to Norwich.
Yeah.
And this one might cause a stir. I've gone for Brighton -1 away to Leeds.
Okay.
And that would give you a tidy 40-1 return.
Not a stretch, and nice odds.
I don't think so. Having watched Norwich, Watford and Leeds this season, I don't think that's a stretch.
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah, and nice odds as well, 40-1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Five will return you 200 bills. Not bad for your investment. I actually did a handicap bet as well, but I did it shorter. It was 4-1. So if you wanted to earn a few bob on this, you might want to throw a tenner or a score on it to pick up 100 maybe.
I'm with you.
I just went 2. I agreed with you on Wolves. I went Wolves -1 and I went Spurs -1. And I thought that's a very safe bet if you want to cover your bets for the weekend on the FA Cup.
Yeah, nice way to do it.
4-1.
Free money.
Okay, I went with an FA Cup final. Bet builder.
Okay.
These bet builders are not normally my forte. I don't normally go near them, but I said I'd do one for the FA Cup final. I went Liverpool to win.
Okay.
Both teams to score.
Okay.
The man of the moment at the moment, Luis Diaz, anytime. Right. Over 2.5 goals.
Right.
And Kovacic to be booked.
Provided he plays.
Apparently he's okay. Apparently he's training tomorrow. He's the update today was he's going to be okay.
Okay.
So
what does that pay?
22-1.
There's nothing unplausible about that, is there really?
No, I thought it was a decent bet. And funny enough, I put it together prior to his injury last night. But the word today is that he's going to make it to the final. That apparently it wasn't as bad as first feared, and he's due back in training tomorrow. Apparently, so.
And what would the odds be if we threw in a Rudiger yellow card?
I don't know. You'd probably put another You'd probably bang it up. Could potentially double. Would it be another 2-1 on it or something like that? Would it?
I don't know.
What about a Rudiger sending off?
In his penultimate game at Chelsea.
Well, you know he's not going to get a sniff at the last game then, is he? He wouldn't be let in the door.
I don't know.
Do you see a red card coming in this one? In fairness to the refs, they, especially in the Chelsea-Liverpool games, I know they sent Reece off at Anfield, but I think, generally speaking, the refs have let stuff go in the Chelsea-Liverpool games, and in most games this season, in fairness.
Yeah, listen, I don't see anybody. I don't see, Dan James showing up and throwing in a tackle like that on Kovacic. And Liverpool tend to have far more control of the game, that guys don't need to be flying around in the tackles like that, and Chelsea are quite considered as well. So I'd be surprised if we saw a handball, a red card. If we saw a red card, I would only see it for one of two things. Either one is a handball, maybe on the line or something like that, or two is when somebody gets in on goal.
Last man.
Last man. That's the only. And if that's the case, you're looking at the likes of Thiago or Rudiger. Or maybe Matip if he plays.
Yeah, I think he'll go with Konate.
I think he should.
Yeah.
He's been a favourite of mine since he's absolutely, slapped the arse cheeks off us in back in November. He was just outstanding at Old Trafford. I was very, very impressed by the lad.
He's a monster. He's a monster.
He's so big. He's built everywhere. He's a big lad and he's a good footballer. And he's, you've got 10 years of him now, probably.
I think in time, and I'm going to put it out here now, and people might clip this on me as well. I think you could be potentially within a year or two looking at the defensive version of Haaland.
Right. I just think it's hard to, fathom a defensive Haaland. If there was, it's Virgil van Dijk, it's very hard to compare a striker and a centre back,
Virgil's the king, but Virgil's too old now to be Haaland. Haaland's only a kid, so Konate's only a kid.
Yeah, but listen, he's tops. He is tops. He is.
Absolutely.
Now, if you offered me him or the boy Wesley Fofana, though, I'd have to have a think on that one.
You would.
Because I'm a big fan of that kid as well.
That's not going to surprise any of our viewers. You saying that? Did you pick a bet for the FA Cup or anything like that? Or are you still mixed? It's all still mixed amount.
No, it's all just.
I'll tell you what. Then we'll jump into Mark's one. Then Mark, our resident referee, as always sends in his bets. Mark sent us in an FA Cup bet, and this is one that I think you'll like. Doesn't necessarily go with the grain of what you're thinking, but Mason Mount to score any time. And we know he had a number of chances in the Carabao Cup. He was very unlucky.
Yeah.
And Chelsea to win 2-1. 55-1.
You could always just rip your tenner up if you wanted.
You don't think so?
Not for me.
Yeah. Well, it's that's what I'm saying. It's going against the grain of your thinking, but as a bet for a typical United fan, as a bet.
It's plausible. The boy Mount is a fabulous footballer. Really fabulous footballer. Again, I like him a lot. I really do. I think when he tidies up a little bit on the finishing and with the final ball a little bit, he'll be a huge talent. I see himself and Phil Foden being mainstays in that England attacking, quartet for the next number of years. I think they're nailed on, the two boys, to play games because they're two unbelievable footballers, probably along with Bukayo Saka and Harry Kane, just very, very good. I think there's a lot of talent coming to the fore in English national team,
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me this, did you do an anytime goal scorer?
Did I do an anytime goal scorer, Niall? You fucking bet I did.
I've got mine here and I've got Mark's as well, so give us your one then.
Right, 40-1. Yeah?
Yeah.
nice to start off with a lad I've just spoken about, isn't it? Phil Foden.
Okay.
Away for City at West Ham. I think he was overshadowed last night by Kevin De Bruyne, and I don't think he'll like being overshadowed because I think he has a bit about him, this kid. A goal scorer tonight for Spurs. I expect him to get one at the weekend and follow up the worldie he got against Burnley a couple of seasons ago. So that's Heung-min Son. A man who's come into good goal scoring form the last couple of weeks, come back after injury and hit the ground running. Danny Ings at Villa, has scored in the last couple of games. They went in with Coutinho and Bailey just behind Watkins a couple of weeks ago, and Bailey had to come off, and Ings took a spot. He's been excellent since he came back and got a couple of goals, got one in each of the games. And then a guy we spoke about again in the Premier League preview, a guy we really, really like, Leicester City, Harvey Barnes. So I've gone Harvey Barnes, Danny Ings, Heung-min Son, and Phil Foden, 40-1.
Nice. Well, you've kind of a little mixture between me and Mark there. Mark again sent in his anytime goal scorer, and I'll even give you the wording of it because you'll laugh at this. You're going to enjoy this. So his first three, he has 4 in this, right? His first 3 is Son, Watkins, and Patson Daka.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether Daka plays before Vardy at the moment after the other.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But he's putting him in there. And then he worded, and your mate, and he sent this to me. So, and your mate, who do you think he's put in?
James Ward-Prowse.
No, when he said your mate, I'll give you a hint. It's not my mate. It's the opposite of my mate.
Your mate, Richarlison.
Correct. 35-1. Son, Watkins, Daka, and Richarlison. 35-1.
I wouldn't swap that for what I have.
No. And it's not many of Mark's bets, I hope, don't come in.
Sorry, Mark, but I wouldn't swap that.
Normally I encourage his bets, but this week I'm totally against him. I hope it falls on its face.
I'll keep Foden, Son, Ings, and Harvey Barnes for 40-1. Thanks. That suits me.
No problem at all. I'll give you my one. I picked 4 as well.
Lovely.
Kind of some with the form and some with my heart. Okay, so that'll give you a hint, right? So I started out with Harry Kane, banging form.
Yeah.
If he's not scoring, he's assisting. Absolute pest. And I think he'll fill his boots against Burnley on Sunday. Jared Bowen. I told you I was betting with my heart here. So Jared Bowen. Then for Brentford, someone we also spoke about in the preview, Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
And Danny Ings.
Right.
42-1.
Toney, Ings, Kane, and Bowen. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all, man.
Yeah, the Bowen one, I'm sure would.
I don't know. I think, if anyone's going to score a goal against Man City, it's going to be Jared Bowen, isn't it? With the form he's in, the form of his life, this kid.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So that was my anytime goal scorer. So we've a nice blend there now between the three of us.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of bases there, haven't we?
Yeah, we've covered nearly every team.
Yeah.
So interesting. Give us your final one. Is this the 80-1?
This is the 80-1.
Strap yourselves in for this one, folks.
Well, I don't know. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm kind of thinking, I don't think it's that out of the way. So, result and both to score. Spurs, home against Burnley. Yeah. We know at times Spurs can be a little bit soft at the back. The boy Weghorst and the boy Maxwell Cornet and Dwight McNeil and that. Burnley fighting for their lives at the minute. I'd expect them to nick one against Spurs, I have to be honest with you. So I'm going with Spurs. I'm going with Brighton away at Leeds. I'm going heavy on Brighton this weekend. I really am. I fully expect them to get the win. But I think Leeds will get in the score sheet.
Maybe with Bamford back.
Maybe with Bamford back. Maybe with a Rafinha got. Maybe just something, because I think, again, they're going to be fighting for their absolute life, Leeds. I think the biggest problem is when Leeds start fighting for their life, it's going to leave an awful lot of space around that pitch. and Brighton are very, very good at exploiting space, like we saw last weekend. And to round it out, my trio is Manchester City versus West Ham. Both teams to score and a draw.
That's out of left field there. I know that coincides with your Premier League preview, but that's a very unusual route for you to go on your both teams to score and result.
Yeah, I think West Ham are going to trouble them. I really do.
That's probably the one that flicked the odds, is it?
That's the one that flicked the odds. Spurs were an okay price. Brighton were a bigger price than Spurs, but City and West Ham and the draw was the big price. Yeah, so 80-1 is a treble.
Nice.
You're looking for 6 teams to score, 2 wins and a draw. Plausible.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope Kevin De Bruyne is not listening. That's one of those ones where they'll be 4-0 up after 20 minutes or something, and then you just go, rip the docket up. I did both teams to score, but I didn't do the result. So I just did both teams to score. Villa Palace.
Yeah.
Leeds Brighton, not dissimilar to yourself.
Leeds Brighton, yeah.
West Ham City.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the one that concerns me, obviously, Everton Brentford.
Okay, yeah. Listen, what price though? I don't imagine that'd be huge. 10 or 12?
7-1.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me only, it's not my only not problem, but that's the only place where we're lacking a bit of value there, aren't we, really?
Yeah. Now, I did do a Sunday draw. So I picked 1, 2, 3, 4 draws. Comes in at 200-1.
Okay.
So this is odds for you. So the draws I went was Villa Palace.
Yeah.
Leeds Brighton, which I know you're not going to agree with. You're going in heavy on Brighton this weekend.
I'm going heavy on Brighton. Well, I have to after them ripping United. They won last weekend,
Yeah. West Ham City.
Yeah.
Which would have moved the odds. And Everton Brentford.
Yeah.
200-1. The one that concerns me, like you as well, is Leeds Brighton.
Yeah, listen, 200-1. You're getting value, aren't you?
Yeah, $5 will give you $1,000.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing to be sniffed at.
Absolutely not. Especially in our penultimate weekend. You know what I mean? Might give us a nice little bump into the old summer months and a little holiday fun for ourselves. We might get away for now a weekend.
Might be able to afford a microphone or two.
Do you know what I mean?
What are we going with for the charity bet? I think your 80-1 sounds better than my 200-1.
Yeah, but you know what? I think you should go with my handicap bet at 40s.
Yeah. 40s.
Which is Brighton, Leicester, and Wolves all minus a goal. 40-1.
So we'll take a tenner on that and throw 400 to a charity.
Yeah, absolutely. The People of Magaluf charity.
Yeah. the karaoke night in Chaplin's Bar in Magaluf. No, we'll pick out a charity. Knowing myself and Darren, something dog related without a shadow of a doubt anyway.
Is that because we've been with a few dogs in our time, or is that because
I'm pleading the fifth on that one? You get me into trouble. Absolutely. Well, as always, folks, leave your picks down there in the comments. Just to remind us, we do still have hats and t-shirts and mugs and everything to give away. So if you throw your bet up there, let us know what you're doing. And if it comes in, we'll gladly furnish you one of our mugs, hats, or t-shirts, whichever is your preference. You never know. It's coming to the end of the season. Might even give you a hat, mug, and t-shirt. So it's worth you throwing it in there. Cost you no time at all. Pick out a bet, throw it in the comments, share the episode, and off you go.
Like a summer selection box.
There you go. That doesn't melt. As always,
you know what I love every now and again? Somebody bought me a present one year. One of the parents in work. They gave me a Chewits selection box. Yeah.
Chewits. Oh.
Chewits. You know the Chewits?
I know them well, yeah.
And all different flavors. And then there was the sour ones. And then there was the ones with the powder in them. A few different bits and pieces. But I obviously just put it somewhere. And there was a rainy day in April then, and I was off work, and she said to me, "You need to get up and tidy your room, you know." And up I went, and I found the selection box in April. It was like Christmas all over again.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as always, if you want to contact the show, the uppertierpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, audio versions show, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. We're on Twitter @the_upper_tier. It's getting close to the end of the season, but it's still going to be action packed for the summer with our transfer shows. And we will be coming back to you next season with a whole plethora of new shows. We're going to put up a whole new lineup. Going to have some new hosts. We're going to be taking on their shows and stuff like that. He's looking around. He's on there. He's been checked out tonight. He's going to be hosting an FA Cup final preview. So we'll see how this goes. This could be like the interview, you know. So we'll see what happens. Until next time, my friend, a pleasure.
Thanks, pal.